I had an old friend. His name was Darren, and today is the anniversary of his death. Normally, I would get the beer he and I would get when we met up, and drink it in my living room with a shotgun on my lap and all the doors and windows locked. I thought today I'd change the routine. I'll tell the story I've kept locked in my head for over 30 years. It all started with Darren calling me, saying he found a new spot for us to explore. He said it was an abandoned asylum. Keep in mind that we were dumb 17-year-old kids with little to no supervision by any adults. My parents didn't care where I was, and let's just say they weren't around much. Of course, we loved going into abandoned and creepy places. We long since were bored of the haunted house attractions at Halloween, and we wanted the real deal. Like I said, stupid kids. We got our stuff ready, waited until night, and once it was, we went. It took us a 40-minute drive to get there, but the view we saw coming in up on the place was so worth it. It was definitely old and looked straight out of a horror movie. You know, the past of this place is really weird and fucked up. You know, human experimentation, murders, various other things like that, Darren said. We cut a hole into the fence with a small handheld bolt cutter he stole from his dad. The fence itself looked shockingly new for the place and how old it was. The halls were left seemingly untouched by vandals, and the windows were left unshattered. The only decay was coming from age, like wallpaper peeling and parts of the ceiling coming apart. "Dude, this place looks so cool!" I laughed in amazement. After a few minutes of walking, I had noticed Darren wasn't talking as much as he usually does. He kept scanning over the walls and taking glances behind us. This wasn't normal for him at all. Out of either of us, he was the most calm and collected. For something like this to put him on edge, it started to scare me. "Hey, Darren, you okay? You keep looking behind us. What's going on?" I whispered to him. "Have you noticed the lack of graffiti? Or the windows not only aren't shattered, but have trails of someone dragging their hands across it?" I looked at the nearest window, and he was right. There are drag lines along it. "Wait, if someone's here with us, why haven't we left yet?" He stopped and gestured at the room around us and spoke. "I've been leading us to the exit. We should have gotten there by now. I think we're lost." I stopped talking. My nerves were getting to me. He gestures for me to continue walking, and I do. We walk for about 20 minutes, and the exit is nowhere to be found. As I was about to say something, Darren stopped and signaled me to stop as well, and shushed me. "You hear that sound?" Darren whispers, as quietly as he can. I listened to the air around me, and I heard it. Whispering and hushed laughing. "What the fuck is that?" I whisper in panic. He pointed up to the ceiling towards an exit sign that pointed towards where the sound came from, in the hallway to the right of us. "We need to see if we can just bum rush them and get the hell out of here." I nodded slowly, and we peered slowly over the corner at what was making the noise. What we see is a sight I won't ever forget. A person hunched over and laughing, although I don't think we can call them a person. They were malformed and misshapen. Everything about them was wrong. They didn't even look real, just something that your brain would create in a nightmare. We were frozen still, staring at this thing. That's when it started to turn around. Its movements looked odd, like the bones were moving at odd angles. As it moved, the sound of bones crackling and scraping against each other emanated from it. It stared at us with an emotion so strong I could feel it. Hunger. A hunger so strong I could see it in its eyes, like a lion staring at its prey before they kill it. "Run." Darren croaks as if his vocal cords wouldn't work. "Run! Let's get out of here!" he shouts, and suddenly the weight of terror lifted itself, and instead was adrenaline, and the fear you only get when you know you're about to die. We ran as fast as our legs could carry us. As we did, we could hear the cackle of the beast and the clicking and scraping of its bones as it chased behind us. We kept running and running for what seemed like hours. As we were running, heard Darren say something. "Do you trust me?" "Of course," I answered truthfully. I looked over to him, and his face wasn't of fear, but sadness. "Good." He shoved me. He shoved me into a room and ran for dear life. For a moment, I thought he betrayed me, but I saw the room he shoved me into had 2 exits. One of them led behind the monster, to the exit. "Run! Get out of here!" he shouted. I could hear the sadness in his voice, so I did. I ran faster than I ever have before. It didn't take too long, but I soon heard Darren's screams of pain and agony. I ran out the front doors and slid through the fence. I jumped into my car and started it. I slammed the car in reverse and got the hell out of there. But I stopped. One thing had caught my eye. The fence. The fence we had cut a hole into. I refocused and drove away and went home. Once I got home, I stole some alcohol from my parents and drank myself to sleep. That's it. The end. The only reason I'm telling this now is I feel like I should have done it a long time ago. The worst part about this is that damn fence. I now know that it wasn't there to keep us out, but to keep that thing in. Not a day goes by I don't think about it. Every night in my dreams, I hear that thing's bones clacking together and its laughter. When I wake up, it feels like a few seconds after I can hear it still. And if it's dark enough, I can swear I see it just beyond the tree line. It's just best to leave those things alone. I hope you all enjoyed that. That was a story I personally wrote named The Asylum. The link to it is in the description below. But if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like it. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any feedback, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Till next time.